Hello gaming tankers, back with another video that certainly needs the wargaming prayer. Dear Tank Jeebus, grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, for wargaming makes the rules, so wargaming can break the rules. And to stretch our own rules here, I'm going to ask you all to make believe with me. Many of us grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, so we are all capable of imagining the land of make-believe. So for this video, we're going to make believe that these two clips featuring the M103A2 and the T-10B are both the 10th matches in them. Due to real-world events involving adulting, childcare, children getting us sick, forgetting to hit record, my original plan that I had 3 weeks ago kind of fell apart, but as a red-blooded American stubborn son of a bitch, I refuse to let my plans die. So, here we are, make-believing. Now, these two tanks are not fully upgraded. They're all upgraded to level 5 in their upgrade lists, so we're not dealing with much of anything substantial, and this was a situation where I realized I could play both tanks at the same time and get a feel for two different mindsets. It's sort of, well, Wargaming's interpretation of what the two tank styles these countries had. Granted, there is an argument to be had that the T-10B should not be where it is. It should be taken by a T-64. It is odd to have a version of an IS tank being what leads into the T-80 and not a T-64. I think that these IS tanks should be like the American heavies and just kind of be an offshoot of the main tech tree line, but either way, back to the comparison. We are too much of a mediocre player to be calling this a true review. We'll save that for the professionals. Now, the M103A2 is slow, is big, but it's got a decent enough boom snout to where it makes itself an effective supporting, and you certainly are a supporting because you will be playing catch up so much. There is a lot of, hang on guys, I'm coming, wait for me, which can be advantageous when you can kind of come in, damage is being done, the enemy is being tracked, you can be that excellent, just keep the fire coming in, really help concentrate fire, keep the damage going. But you can also be finding yourself caught out. If you perhaps deviate a little too far from the herd, you may find them heading in the wrong direction way too fast, and you not able to catch up and be unable to get the support you need when you're suddenly caught out by an Ignis Brigaccio or a Blitzpanzer, or maybe you were just a fool who just went in the wrong direction, which happened to be the right direction to find the majority of the enemy team. That's World of Tanks console for you. So now, the strength is certainly the boom snout. It's accurate, it hits hard, but I have to say, I have been ammo racked. This turret is where some of the ammo is stored, and it's a big turret, and that is a mark against it, whereas the T-10B has ammo stored all over, and yet I've lost more drivers than I have had turrets. So now, at least when it comes to the M103A2, when you aim at your target and you squeeze that trigger, you're confident you're gonna at least hit. Maybe not pen, but you're gonna hit. So I feel that is a strength for the M103A2. I'm not gonna say what I prefer just yet until I've given my opinions on the T-10B. The T-10B. This is one of those tanks that if you told me you were gonna free XP it, I would understand. I am using XP boosters because I do this at the end of every season when I'm grinding paint lines. Once I've unlocked the Commander XP and all the XP boosters that come with completing all 100 stages of the season, the extra 25%, I put on some boosters to really maximize. And boy, the T-10B needs these. This tank has the mobility you kind of wish the M103A2 has starting out. You can almost get to 50 kilometers per hour. The problem is you have Russian gun depression, which means next to nothing. You have a hull that has next to no armor, and you have standard shell speed of 750 meters per second. This is a first, I think, in the entirety of Cold War. Even Era 1 mediums and heavies don't have that slow of a standard round. As an armor penetrating discarding sable, it is slow. It's like firing heat or HE. That's standard. And honestly, I think the M50 Ontos, the heat rounds it can only fire, are slightly faster. So this tank has a lot working against it, and most importantly, something I noticed starting off with the IS-3 in this tank line, and I've been hearing from the T-80s, is the Russian derp is damn near turned up to 11 right off the bat, and that just makes this tank even more miserable to play. I think this is like, it's so frustrating that honestly it's like, does someone hate this tank on the developer side? This tank is so dependent on equipment and having a fully trained commander that I kind of figured starting off this line that the commander I'm going to have is going to be so different from the T-80s that I've been trading a T-80 commander in my Ural, which has been so much fun, just so the IS style tanks have their own commander. And good God, yeah, this is where, when you need a commander that's fully upgraded to make a tank work, which I don't have, that's not a really good thing. Maybe it gets better once I fully upgrade it. There will be a part 2 with these fully upgraded, but right now, the T-10B is a heavy tank that thankfully is small enough to where it can make M60s look fat, but it doesn't have any sort of unique. It just is a support tank where you need the team to support you. You need the team to kind of form that wall to shield you from incoming fire, to distract the enemy, and you hope that your rounds will land on target, which they will mostly land in the dirt in front of the tank, land to the left in the mountains, hit a rock to the right, or every so often you'd be like, well, the satellite in the sky is in more danger than the tank I was shooting at. This, I'm wondering if maybe with upgrades is better, but at the fact that Wargaming is making change to the IS-4M and talking about it, I don't know what they are yet. I haven't found the data points on that, but they're not talking about changing the T-10B. Kind of makes me think, all right, people aren't playing this tank enough for the flaws to become an issue, so it's going to be a couple months of being like, hey, no one's playing this tank, maybe we should buff it. I don't know. But this has a lot of things starting out working against it, which is why, because the boom snout on the M103A2 works, it can penetrate, even if it is a bit of an ammo rack, at least it can do its basic function of hitting a target. The T-10B, a lot of it is squeeze the trigger and hope and pray. There is nothing really confident inspiring about this tank. The pike nose is garbage. So many auto cannons can pen you from a medium distance even, so it's just, yeah. And like, what do you try to improve first or altogether? It's armor isn't good. Mobility, I guess, because you really don't want to be rushing into trouble, because you have nothing to do to deal with it. So I guess don't upgrade the mobility in any way, shape, or form. Focus on gun accuracy, because good God, you gotta do something about that. And then maybe armor second, or get the concealability down so at least you're detected less. But sometimes at a distance the turret will bounce rounds. I can bounce a few rounds, but the problem is once you want to actually engage the enemy and return fire, you gotta really put yourself over that at the hill and overexpose yourself, and then it's just like, nah, it's not like the IS-4M. Pretty sure, like, at least if you angle the T-80s like you do kind of with like the T-72A and the T-72AV, you'll be like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bounce a shot. Not so much with the T-10B. I really wish it was just an interesting offshoot. Where's the IS-7? If this were in Era 1, I think it might be more competitive, but it's not. It's in Era 2, and it's just one of those things of like, even like playing like the T-62, I'm like, I'd rather be playing the T-62 than this. That is, I think that T-62 is a bit of an underrated medium, but that's a medium tank. Like and subscribe if you prefer these more mediocre reviews and just general frustrations. Comment down below, what do you think of these two tanks? If you've played them both, or just your general thoughts of the early days, the first 3 tanks in the T-80 line. I will hopefully have the part 2 very quickly, as I've already got all these tanks upgraded. Yeah, I was that great in the first 10 matches. Totally not over 30 now. Yeah, make believe. We are make believing. We're make believing that, no, we can't even make believe this is a good tank. No, this is gonna need some buffs, I think, in the future. But yeah. Oh, and if you've already subscribed, by all means, make sure to ring that bell and hit those notifications. I'm really glad to see that subscribers are subscribing. 81, come on, we can make it to 100. But I've got more in the pipeline for World of Tanks, and sometime we'll bring in some more games. This was supposed to be a gaming channel. Oh, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to playing the T-80s. I'm looking forward to comparing them to T-72s, but the T-10 doesn't feel like it should lead into the T-80s, because it shouldn't. I think technically the way the Soviets played it was like, alright, we have the T-64, all you IS tank crews, you're now going to be put into these. Okay, great, you've got some training and doing something, and then you'll just learn as you go, or something like that. But I can't believe there is an actual heavy tank in Era 2 with the worst shell speed for a standard round. I cannot believe they put that there is a round in Era 2 that only does 750 meters per second. I think that is just like one of like the final straws. Like, there's nothing you can really enjoy about this tank starting out. I'll let you know how I do in part 2, but I hope you guys keep your tracks on the ground, the RNG's in your favor, and good God, if you're playing the T-10B, I hope you do not get detected. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.